Hey y'all, nice to meet you. I'm Cyrena Wages. I'm an independent artist from Memphis, Tennessee. Over the last year of launching my solo artist career, it's been really important to bring sort of the aesthetic concepts to life that accompany the music, because that is a huge part of it for me. So we're gonna do a little rewind and show you some of the art we've made together. Okay, so first single was called Carried Away. It was my first time working with Luke Harvey of Mossflower Pictures. I was very nervous. He was very intimidating. Just kidding. Super chill. We shot over at someone I work very closely with, Sophie Baldwin and Matt Ross Spang, who was actually the producer of my record. And Sophie is like my creative right-hand lady in everything. And we shot over at her house. Very like mid-century modern. They probably will never let me back to do anything again, but Grizzly June, lead character of every part of my life. Rosie Williams, Rose Gold TV, did all the styling. It was my first time working with her as well. She's amazing and brilliant. This was the scene of the near kidnapping. Right here. We made it out. And yeah, I remember like having a couple calls with Luke before we shot that, and I had this like chaotic just storm of things that I was throwing at him, and he's like, I think I'm tracking. Pretty sure I'm tracking. And then the whole time we were making this, I had no idea what it was going to become, and then he absolutely knocked it out of the park. Robin Hood, single number 2. At the Dixie Queen off of Get Well Road in Memphis. Yeah, I think one of my favorite pieces we've made, I'm going to say that every time, but this Robin Hood piece over at Dr. Nick's house, Elvis's doctor in Memphis, where Luke has like the vintage Good Housekeeping magazine is being like ripped to shreds, and it's sort of falling in slow motion around my face. Love that shot so much. Okay, so the whole song is written about my dad's 67 Cadillac that had a Robin Hood on the license plate. My dad is an attorney for the little guy. So it's always been very much like a steal from the rich insurance companies and give to the poor through line of our family and of my record. But that's what Robin Hood is about. And so that car, the 67, is actually yard art right now until you guys start streaming some songs a bit more and I can get fixed. But I had to have a Cadillac to shoot with. So very nice couple out in Carterville. Let me use their Cadillac. Oh yeah, I feel like this horse's name was Rooster for some reason. I can't remember. I need to ask the Norris family, who very kindly let me bring bright lights and fans near their horses, which is probably traumatizing. I did this full spread with the horses, and then like 2 days later, Beyonce released her album cover of Cowboy Carter, and I was like, we're shelving it. We're not using it. Oh, I loved making this. This was a little teaser for Robin Hood. Your options include marry the man, work for the man, watch your weight, watch your mouth, medicate your emotions away. Elvis Presley, which I could talk about Faiza, who does all the glam for all these characters. I could talk about her for hours and hours, but she brought so many amazing things to life, and Elvis is just one of them. And so first we were going to cast an Elvis, and I was like, hell no. I want to be Elvis, and I want to be the woman. Some good friends of mine, Dale Watson and Celine Lee, own this amazing Airbnb, and they call it Little Graceland, and they very kindly let us come shoot at their place. Oh my God, how could I forget Luke? I tell Luke, hey, here's the thing, I have like 0 budget, but what I'm interested in doing is playing 2 characters in the same frame, and one is where I'm dressed as Elvis Presley, and the other is where I'm a nurse who's like feeding Elvis his medicine, and it's all happening like with different cuts put into one shot. And he just looks at me like, dude, in what world is this a possibility? And then here we go. I'm sure it was so easy, just a walk in the park. I asked him recently, I was like, he probably goes home at night and is like, that bitch is crazy. And he goes, no. I say, that bitch is ambitious. That was Elvis. He'll come back at some point. Oh yeah, I was wearing Luke's. So there's a picture somewhere, we have to put it in this. I didn't have a shirt to play the record producer, so like Luke takes off his shirt, and then Eli goes, well, I'm gonna take my shirt off. We're like, no one needs your shirt, Eli. We shot this on like a Wednesday, and on Tuesday night at 10 p.m. I texted Eli. He's a beautiful, colorful, creative character who is like very integral to this entire year of releasing things, because he's the guy that I can text at 10 p.m. the night before a shoot and say, I need a life-size Barbie box with a clear glass pane in the front tomorrow by 8 a.m. and he makes it happen. Here she is, watch her go. Bitcoin t-shirt really sealed it. This is my #1 favorite. This is at a place called Molly Fontaine's in Memphis. One of the most beautiful and historic homes in the city. I grew up singing and doing a little bit of dancing, but was never much of a dancer, but always wanted to be. And my dear friend Max Reed, who I grew up doing Cats with and West Side Story, he went on to New York and became an amazing dancer and choreographer, but I somehow got him to do this video with me. This is one of my favorite things I've ever done in my entire life. I'm so proud of it. It was so fun. Oh my gosh. He's so talented. It speaks to his skill that he can take sort of an amateur, intermediate dancer and know how to build a piece that would showcase my few skills, in that department. And he was so kind and supportive. It was so much fun. Johnny Weekly is a new friend in Memphis who allowed me to use his car for that. It's so Memphis that so many folks would have these classic pristine cars just around the neighborhood. Memphis just has a flair like that. Maybe my favorite one ever. I tried to pull off a Wes Anderson-esque piece to go with my song, Wes Anderson Love Story. Obviously, you've got one option there for what your concept's gonna be. Some talented people made it come to life. That may or may not be the man that I'm dating. He loved every moment of shooting this video with me, and he's been begging to do it again. Actually, this is the point where he said, I'm done. We had 3 more scenes we were trying to do, and he was like, not me, catch you later. I remember where I was when I had a glass and a half of red wine, and I decided to send a DM to my friend Butch Walker. Sent him a message and said, why don't we record a Christmas song together? I have an idea. He responded, let's do it, what's your idea? And I was like, I don't actually have an idea. I just wanted to know if there was any world in which he would do something with me, and he said yes. So then I had to find an idea. So we did a really cool cover of Blue Christmas with Matt Ross Bang. Do you remember this? We've done a lot of stuff. I was like, Butch is on tour. He can't do a video with me. He's already doing enough. But can we make his face appear right here? The other Christmas song that I wrote that we released was called Unwrap Me. The house we were going to shoot all test positive for COVID. The house we were going to shoot at was decorated early for Christmas. Nowhere else was. Except for one place. Thank you to the kind people of Home Depot. I'll never forget, after we shot this, the girl at the checkout counter goes, come over here, show me your Instagram followers. And she was like, well, you don't have very many followers, but I believe in you. You're gonna get there. And she was like, let me show you my YouTube channel. Oh my God.
I'm Cyrena Wages. I don't like
my anxiety in one video.
I'm gonna nail this, honestly.
Oh, that's Jerry Lee Lewis's car. I forgot how many sick old cars we had. We would just have this storyline that we wanted to bring to the screen. And then I would have Faiza and Luke and Sophie and Rosie and Chris and all of these wonderful donors of cars and homes and venues and children and chickens and whatever crazy weird idea Eli would make happen. It was we all just sort of came in to build the story of the song, normally stories that were weighty but masked in a lot of playfulness. It just kind of bloomed. And so yeah, there were lots of characters that came to life, and there was a lot of hair and makeup and glam, and it was all meant to be that way, I think, because it was all the different roles that this woman was playing other than playing the role of just herself. All the facades, all the masks, like I said, that she would wear to conceal the truth. And so every song was a different personality, and I've never had so much fun taking on a challenge and talk about some stuff that's really important in a really colorful and wild way. Of course, as an indie artist, any meeting that I go into, 90% of the conversation is about content, right? And it has been for the last 3 years. And as much as I want to fight against that, if I can be a wiser, more mature version of myself, I learn how to work with that and not against it. Work with that in a way that stays artful for me. And so I may really struggle holding my iPhone in front of my face and lip singing to something. That's something I'm still definitely working on, figuring out how to make natural. But making little mini films and mini vignettes of super dynamic stories with super dynamic characters. Like, that's remained really artful for me. And so the team that I've built around me, they value the integrity of the art as much as I do. And so I finally realized there was a way to lean into this that felt like it even ended up inspiring new music because of what I learned while playing some of these characters. And you know, like when I played Elvis Presley, I looked at Faiza at one point and said, I've never felt more comfortable. And then we just died laughing because I was like in menswear, right? So we're like, what the hell does that mean? What does that mean about me? But I think it was so liberating to not be in this tight look and all of the, you know, all the glitz and glam. And so just like, as I tried to bring the characters to life, they brought me to life a bit. What a very like cool, expansive experiment, you know.